Hey friends, in this video we are going to be listening to an interactive read aloud. And during this reading, I want you guys to listen to how my voice changes, pay attention to the different faces that I may make, and any gestures I may use with my hands, because all of these things is called reading with expression and intonation. And when we read with expression, we're not just sounding like this and talking and reading like a robot and saying, this is what happened first, this is what happened next, this is what happened last. That is so boring. It's so boring. So when we're reading, good readers, they change their voices so that they can, if different people are speaking. And so I want you guys to pay attention to how I am reading the story and how my voice changes and how I make different faces and stuff. So this story is a Greek tale, and a tale is a made-up story that is from a very, very long time ago. So this didn't actually happen, but it's a made-up story that we can still enjoy. And this Greek tale is called The King of the Winds. And the King of the Winds is The King of the Winds is a retelling of a longer story called the Odyssey, Book 10. So let's get started. Once upon a time, a man named Odysseus traveled the world on a great adventure. He and his men sailed the seas in a grand ship. One day, Odysseus and his men sailed to an island. The island was ruled by Aeolus, the king of the winds. Aeolus proudly welcomed Odysseus and his men. "You are welcome here, my brave travelers. Please stay in my city." So Odysseus and his men stayed on the island. He told Aeolus, the king of the winds, about his long journey on the ocean. Eventually, Odysseus was ready to return home. I see that there are some quotation marks here, so I'm going to change my voice again. "I have been away from my family for a long time," he told the king of the winds. To help Odysseus get home, the king of the winds decided to give Odysseus a wonderful gift. I wonder what that gift might be. What do you predict that the king of the winds would give to Odysseus? I predict that because Odysseus was talking about his very, very long journey, that the king of the winds would give Odysseus some food. I mean, it makes sense because he's on the ship and he would be on the water for a really long time. So my prediction is that the king of the winds is going to give Odysseus some food. Let's keep reading to see if my prediction is correct. The king of the winds handed Odysseus a plain bag. Odysseus watched as the king of the winds filled the bag with many stormy and noisy winds. He used his great strength to tie the top tightly with a string so none of the bad winds could escape. "I have put all of the bad winds into this bag," said the king of the winds. "Now they will not bother you on your way home. Good luck on your long journey." "Thank you," said Odysseus as he took the bag. "Since our transportation is a sailing ship, it will be much easier to travel without terrible winds blowing us in different directions." So Odysseus went back to the ship. His men prepared the ship to sail away from the island. Everyone on the island waved goodbye to Odysseus. Then the king of the winds used a good wind to blow Odysseus and his ship toward home. So my prediction was incorrect. I can confirm that my prediction was not correct because the King of the Winds ended up giving Odysseus a bag full of all of these bad winds. Was your prediction correct? Let's keep reading. I wonder what's going to happen next. Odysseus and his men sailed for 9 days. The gentle winds helped to push their sea vehicle slowly and safely across the water. On the 10th day, Odysseus could see land from the ship. Soon they would be home with their families. "We are almost home, at last," he told his men. "Our ship should reach land soon." Since Odysseus was tired from the long journey, he decided to take a short nap. But his men were not so sleepy. They looked curiously at the big bag that Odysseus had carried onto the ship. "I want to see what's in the bag," said the sailor. "I bet it's filled with gold and silver. We should have some of that treasure for ourselves." Then one of the men ripped open the bag. Odysseus heard a loud noise and quickly woke up. He saw the open bag and the sailor staring at the angry winds rushing out of it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The men let the winds get out of the bag. What do you predict is going to happen next? I predict that because these bad winds have gotten out the bag now, I think that these bad winds are going to cause trouble for Odysseus and his men. I don't think they're going to make it home just yet. That is my prediction. Let's keep going and see if my prediction is correct. "Oh no!" shouted Odysseus as he jumped and grabbed the bag. But it was too late. The stormy winds had already escaped from the bag. They swirled around the ship and flew into the sky. Soon there was a terrible storm. The fierce storm lasted for a very long time. As the storm raged, the ship changed course and sailed away from Odysseus' home. "We are moving back towards the land. We are moving back towards the island of the King of the Winds," cried Odysseus as he stared at the rolling waves. After sailing on the wide sea for many days, Odysseus and his men gradually reached the island. Odysseus told the King of the Winds what had happened, and he begged him for help. But the King of the Winds would not help Odysseus. "I will not help you this time. You must get home on your own," he said. Odysseus and his men had no choice. Once again, they left the island. But this time, they had no good winds to carry their ship, and it would take them much longer to get home. The sailors realized that what they did was wrong. They were truly sorry that their curiosity to see what was in the bag caused so much trouble. They learned an important lesson, and Odysseus and his men finally made it home after all. The end. So, my prediction, I can confirm that my prediction that the winds were going to cause him trouble and that he wasn't going to be able to get home immediately, my prediction was correct. And listening to the story, it gives us very, very important lessons about not touching things that don't belong to you, honestly. But I hope you enjoyed this story, friends.